Hello YouTube, CivilianSnowman here, and I've got another DVD and Blu Ray update for you. I didn't think that I'd have one this soon, but it seems that I just can't help myself but buy shit, so here it is. The first thing I got is the Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2. Basically, I've never seen this, and I love the first Blair Witch movie. I think it's absolutely brilliant. I've heard really bad things about this. However, when I was in Zaran Isaac's Stickham chat room, they were talking about the Blair Witch, and he's basically said how this special edition of Book of Shadows is really interesting because the director talks about what the film could have been, what he intended it to be, all that stuff, and how there's subliminal hidden messages in the film and stuff. So I was like, that sounds really good. And I actually went into HMV with the intention of buying the first one, which they didn't have, but they did have this 2-disc special edition of number 2, and it was only a £5. So I thought, why not? You know, I'll pick it up and just because it's going to be an interesting watch either way because I really enjoyed the first one. So that's Book of Shadows. Next, while I was at work on my lunch break, I actually went into town and to HMV to have a look at Blu-rays and stuff, and I went to buy this one, which is Star Trek, the J.J. Abrams movie. Now, I've already reviewed this for my YouTube account when it came out at the cinema. Absolutely love the film, think it's brilliant. I have a big problem with the Blu-ray though, and that is the packaging, because I think that to be honest, is shite. That is a shite cover. I mean, it's on both sides. You know, anybody who's on the fence about whether or not to buy the new Star Trek movie, they're going to look at that and think, well, if the film's anywhere near as boring as that cover, then I'm not going to bother with it. And the inside is better though, because you get a picture of Kirk and Spock. So I really like, you know, those kind of profile shots, but that is just a god-awful cover. I mean, that could you think of anything more boring for a cover? So that's a problem I have with the Blu-ray, but the film remains brilliant. The other film that I got while I was there, which I actually didn't know was out yet until I got there and saw it, and that's Moon, Duncan Jones's sci-fi movie starring Sam Rockwell. I also reviewed this when it came out at the cinema, and I was really glad to see it at the cinema because it wasn't supposed to be coming anywhere near where I live, so I sent Duncan Jones a message on Twitter not thinking that he'd get it, but he did, and he ended up sending the movie to Lancaster, which was amazing. And I know for a fact that he watched my review because he sent me a message saying so that's wicked. So yeah, I just want to support this movie in any way I can. I'm going to recommend it to everyone because it is brilliant. It's like a throwback to those kind of old-fashioned 70s sci-fi movies like Solaris and stuff like that, and 2001: A Space Odyssey is the obvious one. A brilliant movie. Just so well made as well. It doesn't rely on CGI, they use models and stuff, just looks infinitely better than most shit that's churned out today. I highly recommend Moon. It's a very kind of intimate character study of a sci-fi movie. You can't go far wrong with it, and the transfer on Blu-ray is brilliant. Also on the disc you get one of Duncan Jones's student films as well, so it's just a really good package, so I highly recommend picking Moon up. So a week after that, I was on my lunch break again and went out and bought Terminator Salvation, which is a film that, while it isn't brilliant, it is really good, and to be honest, I really enjoy what McG did with the franchise and how they kind of tried to get away from the kind of goofiness of Terminator 3, if you can call it that, because that kind of bordered on self-parody. But this film, I think, is really good. The first 2/3 are, you know, very solid action movie, post-apocalyptic war movie and all that stuff. I think the last third of this movie is just brilliant. Some of the action scenes in this, and it's really well done. I was probably too generous giving it 4 stars in my review when it first came out, but I do think it is a really good, enjoyable film. So I highly recommend anybody on the fence about picking this up. It's definitely worth it, and the Blu-ray transfer is really good. It's got a very interesting look to the film, because of silver colour timing and stuff like that, so it looks good in HD. And this is the director's cut, and while it's still rated 12, you get the topless shot of Moon Bloodgood, which doesn't come across as being gratuitous in the film at all. It comes across as being quite elegant in a way, and you get a scene of Marcus Wright stabbing someone in the chest with a screwdriver and stuff. So how have you managed to keep it rated 12 is beyond me, because it's really violent. So I do think that the little extra snippets of footage that you get in this version, which is only available on Blu-ray, is definitely worth picking up. So I highly recommend Terminator Salvation. Next I got Fight Club, the 10th anniversary Blu-ray. This is a film that I absolutely love, and I'm sure that most people who watch my channel or any of the movie reviewers out on YouTube, I'm pretty sure most people will love this movie. It's just absolutely fantastic. I don't really need to say much about it. As you can see, here's the Blu-ray cover. You've got Edward Norton on the front and Brad Pitt on the back. It's an astounding package, to be honest. It's chock full of special features. My only problem with that is there's no kind of definitive documentary about the movie, and it would have been pretty cool to have like a retrospective documentary, you know, with cast interviews and stuff like that and anecdotes. But it does come with like all the commentaries that came on the definitive edition DVD, and it also comes with like a weird Easter egg that comes on when you put the film in, and I won't tell you what it is because it's brilliant, to be honest with you, but I don't want to ruin it for anyone who's thinking about buying it. But I highly recommend fans of Fight Club. The film has never looked this good, and it's just brilliant. So definitely, if you've got the means, go out and buy Fight Club. Next, I got quite a bargain while I was in Morrison's doing the weekly shop after work one day, and I got John Carpenter's Halloween for like £6 on Blu-ray in Morrison's, so that's just astounding. And I mean, Halloween was filmed like anamorphic widescreen 35mm, so it looks, when it's touched up into HD, absolutely brilliant. So basically, I don't need to say too much about it because it's a classic, obviously, so it's just a great film, looks good on Blu-ray, and for £6 you can't go far wrong, so that's Halloween. Next, I picked one up that I've wanted for a long time, but it's been far too expensive, and that is Monsters Inc. on Blu-ray. I only got it because it was in the 2 for $20 in Asda, and my dad picked up a film. He got The Dark Knight on Blu-ray, and I got Monsters Inc. for a tenner, so that was pretty sweet. It obviously, with it being Pixar and digital and stuff, it looks absolutely astounding on Blu-ray, especially the hair on Sully, the big furry character played by John Goodman. The picture quality on him is just absolutely incredible, and I really can't express how much this is worth getting. If you're a fan of Blu-ray and Pixar, definitely pick up Monsters Inc. because it is well worth it, but get it from Asda because it's not well worth the £25 that some places like HMV was asking. So yeah, I paid a tenner for it, and obviously it's worth every penny, so that's Monsters Inc. So yesterday I went out on my lunch break again to do some Christmas shopping, and while I didn't really see any presents worth getting, I couldn't help myself but buy something. So I picked up Watchmen, Tales of the Black Freighter on Blu-ray because it was £10, and this is obviously a cartoon made out of the extracts that were inside the graphic novel. Kind of hard to explain, but in the graphic novel of Watchmen, there's a kid reading a comic book called Tales of the Black Freighter, which tells the story of a pirate who's like shipwrecked and stuff, and this is that story. It's animated, looks good on Blu-ray, also comes with a fake documentary called Under the Hood, which is about some Watchmen characters. It just adds a bit of depth to the movie, so that's well worth picking up if you're a fan of the graphic novel or the movie and you haven't yet seen it. And that leads me on to the next one, which I got, which is Watchmen, the director's cut, the 2-disc director's cut on Blu-ray. I never bought Watchmen when it came out on Blu-ray because it was only the theatrical cut, and the US got the director's cut, and I always thought it was kind of an outrage. So like 4 months later, or however long it's been, they finally released the director's cut in England. So I went out and picked that up, and as you can see, there's the cover. It's a much better film in my opinion. The narrative feels a lot stronger in the director's cut because you get more kind of little character moments and linking moments, and you can understand some of the characters' motivations a bit better. So it's well worth picking up the director's cut. You can see the back there, it looks like a newspaper. You've got the comedian played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Great film. It has its flaws, but then again, any adaptation of the Watchmen graphic novel was going to have these flaws, such as pacing and stuff like that. But to be honest, I don't think that you could make a much better adaptation than this. So that's definitely worth picking up. If you've only seen the theatrical cut, go out and get the director's cut. So that's Watchmen. So that's it for this DVD update. I hope you've enjoyed this one. So I like to think that I got a couple of bargains like Halloween and Monsters Inc. So I highly recommend people go out and pick those up because they are worth the asking prices. So like I said, I hope you've enjoyed it. Feel free to comment and all that stuff. Thanks again to everybody that subscribed. You're all brilliant. So yeah, this is CivilianSnowman signing out. I'll see you later. Bye.